Welcome to today's English session. Today we are going to learn about idioms and phrases. I am DS Chakravarti, Assistant Professor of English, Government Degree College for Women, Karimnagar. Idioms are a collection of words or phrases which have a figurative meaning. Idioms are a little bit difficult topic for ESL learners, those mother tongue is not English. We have to accept that this is somewhat difficult, not like other topics which we can learn by following some formulas, by understanding and learning some rules. Idioms do not have any rules. They are specific to different languages. So these idioms, these words can't be taken at their literal meanings. These idioms have their own figurative meanings. Figurative meaning is something different from which it appears. కనిపించే దానికంటే భిన్నమైనటువంటి అర్థం గనక మనకు ఉంటే దానిని మనము ఫిగరేటివ్ మీనింగ్ అని చెప్పి అంటాము. సో ఆల్ ద idioms have their figurative meanings. If we focus on the literal meaning, that means if we focus on word by word meaning, we don't understand anything. That's why we need to focus on the whole. That means we need to understand the whole idiom, and we should understand the context, and we need to go with these idioms. Because idioms don't always make sense literally, you will need to familiarize yourself with the meaning and usage of each idiom. Unless we get acquainted, we use them in our own sentences. Unless you have a good habit of reading the fiction or non-fiction works, you may not be able to understand the concept of idioms well. That may seem like a lot of work, but learning idioms is fun, especially when you compare English idioms to the idioms in your own language. Every language has its own distinct idioms. So while learning English idioms, you may compare those English idioms with your mother tongue idioms, and we can understand, we can compare them, we can find contrast between them. In this way it appears to be fun. We can learn easily. On the whole, I would like to remind you that I would like to emphasize that we should not take the literal meanings of idioms. Rather than we should focus on the figurative meaning. That is, we have to understand the whole, the complete meaning of an idiom. For example, we will begin with one example. Cry over spilled milk. So this is a very popular idiom in English language. Cry over spilled milk. You have spilled milk somewhere and you're crying because the milk has already been spilled and you cannot take it back. You had a loss. So what is the meaning of this idiom? Here, if we take literal meaning, something had happened. But whenever we discuss about idioms, we should not take the literal meanings, but we have to focus on the figurative meaning. Here, we should not focus on something about the incident or something about milk or spilled milk or something, but the actual meaning behind the whole idiom is complaining about something that cannot be rectified. So this is the message that we need to understand. The literal meaning should be ignored. So we should not complain about something that cannot be rectified. The damage has already been done. Whatever done had already been done. It cannot be undone. So like we can find the wonderful phrase in Shakespeare's Hamlet, what is done cannot be undone. జరిగిందాన్ని మళ్ళీ దాన్ని పునఃస్థితికి తీసుకురావడం సాధ్యం కాదు. కాబట్టి we should not complain, we should not regret, we should not worry much about something that already has been done and cannot be rectified. If there is a chance to rectify your mistakes, it's better to go with that. But when the milk is already spilled and you cannot take them back, you should stop worrying and you keep on moving with your works, whatever task you are having at your hand. So this is one example for an idiom. Now let's move on with some more idioms and try to find out what is the figurative meaning of them, and we will discuss at least one example for each idiom. Let's move on to the next slide. Achilles heel. The idiom here we are going to discuss is Achilles heel, and the meaning of the Achilles heel is a vulnerable spot or a fatal weakness. Vulnerable spot. Vulnerable means where a vulnerable spot or a fatal weakness. Fatal means very dangerous, that is leading to death, that is the most greatest weakness. Fatal means the greatest one. So what is Achilles heel? There is a story in Greek mythology. There was a great Greek warrior, Achilles. When he was an infant, his mother had dipped the infant Achilles in a river, holding onto him by his heel. Where the waters touched him, he became invulnerable. But as his mother was holding him with his heel, the part wasn't dipped in the water. The water couldn't touch his heel. So it was the weakest point. It was a vulnerable spot. So this is the story behind Achilles' heel. The other warriors in a war, the opponents hit him with an arrow on his heel, leading to his death. So this is called a weak point or a vulnerable spot. So let's see an example. Though he was a good person, his short temper was his Achilles heel. Though he was a good person, his short temper was his Achilles heel. That means all his habits are good. He had wonderful virtues, but he has a loophole, he has a vulnerable spot, he has a weakness, and that is his short temper. So, to indicate this, we can use the idiom his short temper was his Achilles heel. So, this is a wonderful way of expressing the idea that he has a weakness. Idioms usually express our ideas in a wonderful, beautiful way. Now we move on to the next slide. Actions speak louder than words. This is a very popular idiom. So what's the meaning of this idiom? Your actions are more significant than your words. People are very good at speaking. They talk a lot. They talk wonderfully. But when we come to their actions are not in proportionate with their talks. So your actions are more significant, more prominent, more emphasizing than your words. You should express everything through your actions but not with your words. It's no use sitting and speaking of success. You have to act on it. Remember, actions speak louder than words. If you want to achieve success, you have to stop talking, you have to stop sitting idle, and you have to get into some action, because action speaks louder than words. Instead of saying something, instead of boasting about the things you are going to do in future, you have to get into action and do something of something significance, so that people will judge you, people will recognize you by your actions. So this is the concept of this idiom. Actions speak louder than words. Add insult to injury. To worsen an uncomfortable situation. Add insult to injury. If you are from the Telugu mother tongue background, you may know a wonderful saying, Pundu Mida Karam Challinattu. This is the particular saying that is equivalent to this English idiom. So what is the meaning of this idiom? The meaning is, అసలే ఇబ్బందుల్లో ఉన్నప్పుడు ఆ పరిస్థితిని ఇంకా తీవ్రతరం చేయడాన్ని మనము యాడ్ ఇన్సల్ట్ టు ఇంజురీ అని చెప్పి అంటాం. సో లెట్స్ గెట్ ఇన్ టు వన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ హియర్. ఫస్ట్ దే లాస్ట్ ద మ్యాచ్, అండ్ దెన్ టు యాడ్ ఇన్సల్ట్ టు ఇంజురీ, one of the players was suspended for cheating. So here we can find two things happened. First one, they lost the match, they were in grief, they were worried, they are in a disappointed mood, and moreover that to add insult to that injury, something more happened. And what happened? One of the players was suspended for cheating. The next one, hold your horses. So if you focus on the literal meaning of this one, you don't understand anything. But if you focus on idiomatic meaning, that this means calm down, cool down, don't be tense, take a break, take a deep breath. Okay, so we will get into one example. We will see one example. Hold your horses, I am getting ready. That means calm down, I am getting ready. So you are getting ready and your friend is waiting for you and he is calling for you so many times, uh, again and again. Then you respond with this idiom. So you say, hold your horses, please wait, I am getting ready. Hold your horses, I am getting ready. The next one is feel blue. To feel sad or depressed. So if you are feeling sad, if you have sorrow, you are depressed, you are disappointed, you are worrisome, then we can indicate the same thing with the idiom feel blue. Okay, let's see one example. I have been feeling blue ever since I have heard that my daughter will be moving abroad for good. So your daughter is moving abroad for studies or something. So you feel disappointed. You don't know how you are going to live without your daughter. So that is called feel blue. You have been feeling blue. You have been feeling depressed. You are disappointed. The ball is in your court. This is a very popular idiom. The ball is in your court. Typically, the word court here indicates about the sports, not in any court of law. Thus, responsibility of taking action lying with someone. So a person has to take a step, take the responsibility, take some initiative, or take some action. Then we use this kind of idiom in such particular situation. Let's examine with an example. His family and friends have requested him to apologize to his boss to save his job. The ball is in his court now. So there was an issue between the employee and the boss, and at the home, his family members, his friends have convinced him, requested him to apologize to his boss so that he can continue doing his job. Now the ball is in his court now. Now he has to decide whether he is going to apologize or not to apologize, and by then losing his job. So the decision is his. The ball is in his court. Cold shoulder, a display of disinterest. Disinterest typically indicates not interested in something. Cold shoulder means you are not interested in something, doing something. Now we will go through one example. When someone comes to me for help, I never give them the cold shoulder. When someone comes to me for help, asking for help, I will definitely help them. I'll certainly going to give them some suggestions or some actionable tips, or I will do something that is needed. I never give them the cold shoulder. That means I never turn them back. I never depress them, disappoint them. అంటే ఎవరైనా మన దగ్గరికి సహాయం కోరి వచ్చినప్పుడు నేను తప్పకుండా వారికి సహాయం చేస్తాను, నిర్లక్ష్యం చేయను అనే అర్థాన్ని ఇక్కడ ఇస్తుంది అనమాట. గివ్ దెమ్ కోల్డ్ షోల్డర్ అంటే సహాయం చేయకుండా నిర్లక్ష్యం చేయడం. ద నెక్స్ట్ idiom is can't stand. Here the literal word stand, there is nothing to do with standing or sitting. The whole meaning of this idiom is to dislike, that is to hate. If we look into one example, I can't stand having to do homework on a Sunday. Children do not like to work on Sundays. Not only children, everyone, including us also. Here it indicates I don't like to complete my homework, do my homework on Sunday. Rather, I would like to spend it on something like watching TV or sitting idle or sleeping. So that is the meaning of the idiom can't stand. The next one is a blessing in disguise. Blessing in disguise. So what is the meaning of this idiom? Appears bad, but it is actually good. So we have to face so many situations in our life. The consequences, we have to face several consequences that we do not expect, that we do not like as well. But so many things, so many results that we come across in our life are actually blessings in disguise. Though we feel them a failure, but they will help us somewhere. For example, losing that job turned out to be a blessing in disguise for him, as it forced him to plunge into business. So here is a person who lost his job and he was much depressed, much disappointed, and he was worrying much. But later, after several months or after several years, as there was no choice for him, he plunged into a business and there he achieved so much. He became rich, he gathered so many clients, and he made his name famous as well. So this was actually a blessing. In the initial stage, when he lost his job, he might have wondered, he might have thought that was a curse for him. ఉద్యోగం పోయిన వెంటనే అదొక శాపంగా, అదొక పనిష్మెంట్గా, అదొక ఫెయిల్యూర్గా అతడు భావించాడు. కానీ కొన్ని రోజుల తర్వాత వ్యాపారంలో మంచి లాభాలు వచ్చేసరికి now he could understand that actually it was a blessing in disguise. Piece of cake. Here the literal meaning won't apply as we discussed earlier. Here we are not going to eat or we are not going to discuss about a real cake. But the meaning of this idiom is easy. A piece of cake means a very simple task, a very easy thing that we can do. Let's see an example. Interview was a piece of cake for her. So whenever we are going to appear for an interview, we feel so nervous, we are intimidated, we are frightened, we feel anxious, and we don't know how we are going to tackle with all those questions in the interview session. But here, after completing the interview, she felt interview was a piece of cake for her. That means interview was easy for her. She didn't expect such easy questions, and she did well, she performed well, she answered all those questions. So she said after the interview, that was a piece of cake for me, so it was so easy for me. So this is this idiom, a piece of cake, that means easy. Cost an arm and a leg. So here is a very complete different idiom we can see here, and the meaning is very expensive. So what is this and where do we use such easy idioms in our daily life? We shall examine one instance, one example. This mobile is really nice, but it cost me an arm and a leg. Nowadays students are very much habituated to using mobile phones. Nobody can live without a mobile phone. The problem with here is they are attracted to the expensive mobile phones and they demand to get those costly mobile phones at their parents. They cry, they demand, they do all sort of things to have that kind of mobiles. But the problem is middle class parents may not be able to afford such kind of costly mobile phones. So it would be a very complicated thing. It would lead to so many issues at home. Cost an arm a leg means very expensive. This mobile is really nice, but it cost me an arm and a leg. So I may not be able to afford this mobile phone. It is very expensive. This is the meaning of this idiom. Couch potato is a very popular one. So here is the image of couch potato. By looking at the image, we can understand, we can sense the meaning of this idiom for some extent. So what is the meaning of couch potato? A chronic television viewer, usually indicating a lazy person. Almost all of us becoming couch potatoes these days. Whenever we start watching TV, we don't want to change, turn off the TV and go somewhere for work, go somewhere doing some work. We are reluctant to move from that couch, that is sofa. We are habituated to watching one serial after other serial, movie after movie, so we don't do anything except watching TV. This is called becoming a couch potato. Let's see one example. My younger sister is a great couch potato. So she is a great couch potato. That means all the time she stays in the sofa, she sits in the sofa and watches all the senseless serials and movies without doing any work. So she is not only lazy but also a chronic television viewer. So this indicates couch potato. Beating around the bush. This is also a very popular one. So you might have already acquainted with this idiom earlier. Not discussing what is necessary. So people often come to us for help, but instead of directly expressing their needs or necessities and asking for our help, what they do, they keep on talking about all the irrelevant things with us. So here is an example. Will you please stop beating about the bush and get to the point? Please stop beating about the bush. Stop discussing all those unnecessary things and directly come to the point. Come straight to the point. This is the meaning of our idiom. Crocodile tears. This is also a wonderful idiom that we can find in almost all the languages. In Telugu also we have this saying, Musali kanneeru karchadam. So what is the meaning of this idiom? That is shedding fake tears, showing fake sympathies, showing hypocrisy. That is called crocodile tears. So what is the example? When my daughter does not get what she wants, she cries crocodile tears. It works every time. So it's just a drama, it's a action. They are fake tears, and when we assure her that we are going to get her the thing she wants, she really wants, and she stops crying and goes to play. తనకి ఏదైనా వస్తువు కావాల్సి వచ్చినప్పుడు నా కూతురు ఇలా ఏడ్చినట్టు నాటకం ఆడుతుంది అని దీని యొక్క అర్థం అన్నమాట. ఫేక్ టీయర్స్, నాట్ జెన్యున్, నాట్ రియల్, ఇట్స్ దే ఆర్ ఫేక్. హియర్ యూ కెన్ లుక్ ఎట్ ద ఇమేజ్ ఆఫ్ క్రొకోడైల్ టీయర్స్. Easier said than done. Easy to say but hard to do practically. Speaking is very easy, talking is very easy. Preaching morals, preaching ethics, giving advices, providing suggestions, all these are very easy things because you can say whatever comes to your mind. You don't have to do anything. But when it comes into action, it is very hard to do the things practically. So this is the idiom, that this is the uh, concept the idiom is expressing. Let's see an example. Finding the perfect house was easier said than done. So anyone can give you a suggestion. Anyone can say that I need to buy a house. You can buy a house very easily. But when you get into action and when you get into to the field and you look into the houses, you may not be satisfied that easily with the available houses. So it takes a lot of time till you get the actual the house that you are interested in. So there are so many things in this world which are easier said than done. The next one is cut corners. That means to reduce extra expenses. You have to minimize your expenses. that is indicated by the idiom cut corners. Let's see an example. Here is an example. The President of United States decided to cut corners in order to overcome of the recession. Everybody knows that there is a tremendous recession is going on. Hence, the President of the United States decided to cut corners. That means to reduce extra expenses, to minimize their extravagant expenses, to save some money so that they could face the recession properly. From A to Z, A to Z also, we can call it A to Z also. From the beginning to the end, it's a very simple concept to understand. A to Z అంటే మొత్తం అన్నమాట, కంప్లీట్ మొదల నుంచి ప్రారంభం వరకు అన్ని కూడా మనం లెక్కించాల్సి వచ్చినప్పుడు మనం ఏమంటామంటే ఏ నుంచి జెడ్ వరకు అని చెప్పి అంటాము. దిస్ ఈజ్ ఎ వెరీ టిపికల్ ఇన్ ఎవ్రీ లాంగ్వేజ్. ఎగ్జాంపుల్, దిస్ బుక్ ఈజ్ ద ఫైనల్ వర్డ్ ఆన్ దిస్ సబ్జెక్ట్. ఇట్ కవర్స్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ఏ టు జెడ్. ఈ బుక్లో ఏ టు జెడ్ ఉన్నాయి అంటే లిటరల్గా ఏబిసిడిఈఎఫ్ ఇట్లా జెడ్ వరకు ఉన్నాయని కాదు. ఈ బుక్ ఏదైతే అంశం పైన రాయబడిందో ఆ అంశాలన్నీ కూడా కూలంకషంగా చర్చించబడ్డాయి, పూర్తిగా డిస్కస్ చేయబడ్డాయి అనే అర్థాన్ని ఇస్తుంది అనమాట. The next one, hear on the grapevine. So what is the meaning of this idiom? To hear rumors about something. Rumors are rumors అంటే ఏంటి? పుకార్లు. యాక్చువల్లీ రూమర్స్ స్ప్రెడ్ ఫాస్టర్ దాన్ ద ట్రూత్. సత్యం కంటే కూడా అబద్ధాలు, పుకార్లు చాలా వేగంగా వ్యాప్తి చెందుతాయి, మనకు అది తెలిసిన విషయమే. Now let's see an example here. We heard on the grapevine that our company would be taken over by another one, but the official communication says otherwise. మా కంపెనీని మరొక కంపెనీ టేకిన్ ఓవర్ చేస్తుంది అనే ఒక పుకారు మాకు వినిపించింది అనే అర్థం ఇక్కడ వస్తుందన్నమాట. హియర్ ఆన్ ద గ్రేప్ వైన్ అంటే సింపుల్గా చెప్పాలంటే రూమర్స్, పుకార్లు అనే విషయాన్ని మనము గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. The next one is miss the boat. To lose an opportunity by being slow to act. Occasionally in our life we are so lazy, we procrastinate things, we postpone things, and we act so slowly that we lose some golden opportunities. To indicate such kind of phenomena, we use this idiom miss the boat. To see an example, he missed the boat when he did not apply for the job in time. So there was a job notification, everyone else applied for the job, but he delayed because of some several reasons we don't know. But ultimately what happened, he couldn't apply the job in time. As a result, he missed the boat. That means he couldn't get the job. Everyone else got the jobs, but this fellow was unable to get the job because he didn't apply in time. So this is indicated by he missed the boat.